Oh, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 4, Batman the Cape Crusader. It just gets worse and worse and worse. But without any further ado, let's get into this. The episode starts off with the people of Gotham being interviewed about how they feel about the Batman, that, oh, he's attacking police officers, he's a criminal, they should bring him in. And then it cuts to the mayor showing a picture from the last episode when Batman was beating up Bullock and Flask at the Gotham Jewelry. You know that scene where the photographer took pictures of Catwoman to implicate her in the crime to put her into jail? And he told Batman, hey, I have pictures of you beating up the police officers. Do you want me to destroy them? And I said in my review, maybe these pictures are going to come out later on in the season as like nice little breadcrumbs here and there. Maybe he's going to work with Batman. Maybe he's going to destroy the pictures. Because right now we're in episode 4. And Batman so far has cultivated 0 relationships. Every episode that he's in, first episode, Barbara Gordon, it didn't end with a relationship with her and him just working together. Next episode, Montoya episode. It didn't end where, oh, we're working together on something. And then the next one, it has this photographer. It didn't end with them being friends at the end and working together. None of that. Maybe by doing so, he can get, I don't know, the police off his back? That would make sense, right? But no. Right now, the police hate Batman. He's a vigilante. He's attacking cops. And that's the opinion of the city right now. So now the mayor's fed up with this. He's like, oh, I have to protect my citizens. I have to protect my police officers. So we're going to put together a special task force designed to take in Batman down. And who is leading that task force? None other than our big booty Latinx, Montoya. And oh, she has a plan. Oh, she has a plan indeed, folks. Let's start faking crimes around Gotham. Like petty thieves and people getting mugged and stuff like that, so the Batman will swoop in and stop the criminals. It almost makes me wonder, why is the GCPD not out there just solving crimes in general? Why at no point of any of this do they ever sit down and go, you know what? Why is Batman out there stopping all these criminals? Why aren't we actually stopping criminals or anything like that? At no point does any of this come to mind of any of the police officers of, oh, maybe if we did our jobs more, then there would be less Batman sightings, right? No. Double down, full in, Batman is the worst thing in the world. The police station has to go full brainworms on this to bring him down. So then it cuts to later that night where the police officers are faking the crimes and Batman isn't taking the bait for most of them. And then one of them, he decides, okay, I'm just going to lasso up these 2 police officers, and then he escapes in the middle of the night because he realizes, oh, they're really not criminals right now. They're just police officers pretending to be criminals. But then it cuts to a high-speed chase as a getaway car is opening fire on some police cars. And then the Batmobile shows up, and it's then revealed that, oh, this is just another police sting operation. So the police go to live fire ammunition and gun down the Batmobile. Are you guys trying to kill Batman? Is this whole episode is just the police are dumb, the police are just trigger happy, and the police have no idea what they're doing. That is the goal of this episode. For the audience to see, yes, all the cops in Gotham are bad. They're all incompetent. So then they try to set up some SWAT team members to barricade the road with their trucks. And Batman just blows through them with the Batmobile. Not even like blinking an eye, not even thinking, oh, I'm going to ram these 2 cars as hard as I possibly can. I really hope no one's standing on either side of them. Everyone's just incompetent in this episode. So now the mayor is furious. He's calling Jim Gordon, just yelling at him completely. Just, you don't know what you're doing, Jim. You got to bring this man down, blah, blah, blah. So Jim decides, okay, I'm just going to go for a walk in the police station. He gets his cup of coffee. He goes down to the task force room. And there Batman is, just in the room looking at the board. So, at this point, here's how I would have wrote this scene. We would have had Jim Gordon talking to Batman. We would have maybe had the tropes of, we're not so different, you and I. We're after the same thing, Jim. I'm taking down dirty cops, Bullock and Flask. They're on the payrolls of all these criminals. I'm taking down criminals one by one. I'm here to save the city. Maybe we should work together. Wouldn't that make sense if they had this conversation of, hey, let's work together towards a common goal, right? Like how every other rendition of Batman has been so far, with Commissioner Gordon and Batman side by side, right? No. Jim Gordon just pulls a gun out and tries to shoot him. The cops are all trigger-happy morons. That is the goal of this episode. Jim Gordon is a complete moron. Imagine writing that down on a board. Like I said with last episode, imagine saying, okay, Batman, Bruce Wayne is going to be a complete jerk to Alfred 100% of the time, and saying yes, the audience is going to love this. Now it's, oh, Jim Gordon is the biggest moron in the entire world, and the audience is going to love this. Unbelievable. So now Jim is just beside himself. He's talking to our favorite big booty Latinx Montoya about, oh, if I don't get this Batman, they're going to transfer me, and you're going to go back to being the office coffee girl. You know what? Good. Maybe she should go back to being the coffee girl, because she can't do anything right. And it's clearly evident by her actions right after he tells her how serious this is. She decides, okay, we need to get into the mind of Batman. We need to understand who this guy is. So let's call the smartest person we know. Let's call Harley Quinn. Let's call therapist Harley Quinn to come to the police station and tell the police officers the psyche of Batman. Remember last episode how I was saying how you did not establish Harley Quinn as a capable, competent, or good at her job at all. She's just as generic therapist as humanly possible, and that is what she is here. Broad strokes, everything, nothing specific. Oh, he dresses up like a bat, so he has some kind of psychological issues, and he mostly goes after criminals that are flamboyant and dress up and, all this stuff. It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Honestly, the better plan was just creating a bunch of crimes for Batman to try to solve and then catch him, with a net or something like that. Because she's not good at her job. They do a terrible job with Harley Quinn. But this scene does serve a purpose because Flask and Bullock are there. And Flask has a genius idea. Wait a second. Batman goes after the costume character flamboyant ones. Let's look through this roster of prisoners we have in the GCPD and who fits the perfect model for that. So they get this guy, Firefly, or Firebug, I think he calls himself, and they say, okay, we're gonna release him. We're gonna put him in our car. We're gonna drive him somewhere. We have his gear. He has flamethrowers and crap like that, and we're just gonna let him loose into the city. And then when Batman tries to stop him, we'll be there and we'll stop him. But even weirder, as they load him into the car, Barbara Gordon shows up. Lawyer Barbara Gordon. If I'm mistaken on this, please let me know. She works for the defense, right? Her job is to essentially kind of get criminals off in a way, right? Like find out if they really did their crimes, not to prosecute them, find something's going on. So most of the time she's kind of on their side, right? So as they're loading this guy in the car, she shows up and goes, hey, that's my client. And they explain, oh, we're bringing him to Arkham to get a psych hearing and all these things though. And she tells them, well, be careful. He's more dangerous than he looks. Wait a second. Aren't you on the defense for him? Shouldn't you be saying positive, glowing things, not, hey, this guy is 100% guilty of all of his crimes. He's a very dangerous human being. Maybe you should watch out. I don't know. I just found that kind of weird that Barbara just told the audience that, yes, the client that I'm defending is a kind of a psychopath. So Flask and Bullock pull over on the side of the road. They go, oh, I think we're having some car trouble. So they both get out, and as they're getting out, they're explaining that, oh yeah, all of his stuff's in the trunk. Yeah, we'll be right back here. We're just going to fix the engine. And at this point, I don't know if Firebug has any idea what's going on, because he kind of just jumps out the window and hides behind the car and grabs his stuff and runs. It's like, does he know what's going on here? Does he know they're breaking him out of prison? Anywho, then we get honestly one of the best character development moments of this entire series so far. Flask gets out of his car, he pops a hole in the tire, and he takes off his hat and tells Bullock, hey, punch me in the face, make it look good. And Bullock looks at him and goes, oh, I can't do that to you. Like, these guys are actually friends. And he doesn't want to punch his friend. I don't know why, for some odd reason, that was oh, you guys do have a heart of gold. So he punches him a bunch of times, and then they just watch as Firefly runs into a building where he thankfully finds all the turpentine and chemicals that he needs to fill his gas tanks, and he starts setting the building on fire. Now here's where the episode gets weird. Here's where the episode gets very, very illogical, okay? Firefly starts in the basement of the building, okay? This is the schematics of how this works, though. So he starts a fire in the basement of the building, and then he goes up the floors, setting more and more fires as he goes. Wouldn't the smoke get you at this point? I don't know. I thought that was such a weird idea. I thought he was just going to set a fire here and then run to a different building and set a fire there. It's like, no. I'm going to stay in this building and just set the entire thing on fire and burn up in the blaze of it. It's like, is that his plan here? Because if it is, he should have been in Arkham the entire time. You shouldn't just be in a regular prison cell. This man is mentally suicidal and psychotic, right? So then as the fire starts, Flask and Bullock get on the horn and call the fire department and all the police and say, hey, there's an escaped criminal in this building. He's setting fire to the place. And also, Batman is here. Send everyone. So as Firefly is setting fire to everything, Batman comes up the staircase and they fight for like 2 seconds. Literally like 2 seconds. Firefly shoots a blast of flames at Batman. He jumps behind a table, uses it as a shield, and throws the table. And then immediately, the police are there. The trigger-happy Gotham Police Department is there. And they start blowing holes through the table and start shooting at Batman. Because, of course, they have a shoot-on-sight order, which means just open fire on everything and anyone there. And as this is happening, Firefly is just somehow magically gone. This was the confrontation. This is a Batman villain. And they have a 2-second fight. This is the Batman show. And we're 17 minutes into this episode. I'm really blowing through it. There's not much going on in this episode at all. I don't think Batman's really spoken in this episode so far. I think he had 0 lines. It's just, why is there a Batman show if the main character is not Batman? I understand with the show Gotham, where it was centered around Jim Gordon mostly. That's different. This is Batman. He's front and center, and man, you guys have done him dirty in this. So then Jim Gordon and Big Boo Latinx Montoya show up, and he tells everyone, no one else go in there. This place could light up like a tinderbox. Oh, Flask and Bullock are in there with a squad. Okay, cool. No one else go in there. And then Jim Gordon decides to go in there. Montoya's like, whoa, you said no one else goes in there. And he said, I'm not letting good men die for no reason. It's like, what's going on here? Why are the police officers... Okay, again, the building is being set fire from the ground up. Why are these police officers still going in there? Wouldn't the idea be, okay, the building's being set on fire, so maybe we should pull out, cover all the windows and exits, maybe get some guys on the roof in case Batman escapes and just wait this thing out? I don't know, it just seems weird if, okay, let's just keep sending people in there. And the fire department's doing nothing at this point. So as Batman, I think at this point is chasing Firefly, I have no idea. He lost him entirely in this building. So as he's going up the staircases, he sees this poor mother and her poor urchin children, they're dirty as hell, come out of their room. And of course he's going to go and help them. But then he turns around and sees the GCPD round the corner and just start opening fire on Batman. With children right there. Why are you all so terrible at your jobs? This isn't Osama bin Laden, people. This is Batman. That he's been, for 3 episodes, taking down criminals. And because you have a picture of him punching a police officer, he's public enemy number 1? My God, guys. So Batman beats up the police officers. I assume he kind of does his usual knockout thing. And he just leaves them on the ground. in a burning building with smoke everywhere. So after he beats up the police officers, this is a very odd directing choice. He points to the staircase going down and says to the people, "That way, go." And then he jumps out the window, breaks through the glass, and bat hooks himself and jumps into the floor above. I don't know why he does this, because as he's running, the staircase that he's currently not going up, it's not on fire. And as he's doing this, I'm thinking, okay, did he blow out the window so he can, I don't know, take the kids and the mother and rappel them down? No, he just did something really cool for no reason at all. So then Bullock and Flask make their way up the staircase and they find Firefly just staring out the window. And he says, "Oh, well, I'm at a flame right now, so I guess I'll go with you guys." So Bullock just guns him down and he falls out the window and dies. Was the plan to always kill Firefly? Wouldn't the plan be to allow him and Batman to... I mean, Batman's still in the building. Wouldn't you want Firefly fighting Batman at this point? I don't think they realized this plan was, okay, let's kill Firefly and look good for the press. It seems like this was all just a massive coincidence of finding him without Batman being there. So then Jim Gordon eventually finds Batman as he's trying to help some street urchins out. And, of course, he doesn't shoot Batman because that would be psychotic. And Batman says, "Oh, we have to get these kids out of there." And Jim tells him, "Well, you can't go out the front. They'll gun you down. They might not notice you're holding children." It's like, my God. The GCPD is just trigger-happy morons that they're just going to gun Batman down just because he's standing outside? Is that what they're trying to say? So they decide to go with the idea of, let's throw the kids down the laundry chute. I don't think this place would have a laundry chute, right? It would be a garbage chute, if that makes any sense at all, because you're not going to have people just throwing their laundry down this disgusting building, and there's going to be someone down at the bottom of it that's going to collect all the laundry? I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me. Maybe they wanted to go with a garbage chute, but that would be, I guess, too dirty or something. I don't know. It was just a weird thing for me to see. So then they get the kids out and Batman swoops away and Jim Gordon's looking at the dead body of Firefly, and the next day he's ringing out Bullock and Flask, talking about how terrible they are at their jobs and crap like that. But thankfully, Bullock has the newspaper with him, and the headline reads, "Hero Cop Stamps Out Firebug," and it's a picture of Bullock out the window with his gun as he just shot Firefly out. So now the mayor calls and says, "You know what? These two are in charge. Give them whatever they need. I trust them way more than you." And then we end this episode with our diversity hires just sitting at a bar, looking at the newspaper, trying to contemplate their last move. Montoya, Barbara Gordon, and Jim Gordon. And then we cut to black. What a disaster episode. This show goes out of its way to do everything wrong every episode, and I thought it would honestly get better at this point. It hasn't. It's only getting worse. At least this episode, Batman didn't cultivate a relationship with anyone that he can use, I don't know, later on in this series. But the 3 people he's met so far is technically 4 people. It hasn't worked out at all. Batman is just the worst at everything. The police are just trigger-happy morons. And I have no idea what could possibly happen next for the show. But thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about that.